Welcome to Season 1, Episode 2 of the Dark Masculine Playbook. Today we're touching on the art of seductive speech. Notice how some men walk into a room and the air changes, and they don't necessarily need to be loud. They just have this commanding aura about them, and other men beg for respect like dogs. I think you know which one you are, so let's fix it. You've been conditioned and raised to be confident and to speak up, but nobody really told you the truth. Real power isn't in volume, it's in control. When you think about the most feared men in movies and shows, they were feared because of their silence. The ones who barely speak are the ones that everyone usually listens to. Like, for example, Gus Fring or Michael Corleone. They never really waste words because their silence speaks louder than the other people who are shouting. Weak men will rush to fill silence, and powerful men will usually let silence work for them. So in a conversation, you want to pause before you speak. You want to think. Take a couple seconds before you respond to things. You'll naturally always start to see a shift in power, because if before you weren't thinking, you were immediately going into your first thought, or you're just rambling without any thoughts, then you'll start to see a shift. There is a shift in just the way you carry yourself when you do think about what you're gonna say and when you're intentional about it. Especially as somebody who can be very silly and playful, I've learned to be a little bit more intentional about what I say. Naturally, there are going to be times when I'll fly off the handle off of emotions, but usually I'll try and think before I say something, especially if it's regarding something important or something that is career changing or altering or life changing or whatever like that. When I'm sitting down and I'm having conversations, I hold eye contact and I think before I speak, because it naturally gives you more control over your thoughts, over your emotions in conversations. You're not going to want to rush, you're not going to be anxious, and you're not going to be so worried about how the other person feels about you or what they're thinking, which feeds your anxiety. And you're more so going to be thinking about your speech and analyzing what they say and not just speaking to respond. That's what usually makes people lean in when you're more comfortable in your speech and you're more comfortable in your delivery. Most of you speak too high, too tight, and too desperate to get attention, and women do notice this. Other people notice it as well. If you're constantly going outside of yourself and you're constantly rushing to be heard all the time, and there's not really a reason or cause, then it just gives people the impression that you don't speak with purpose. So one thing that you can do is record yourself talking or practice your speech in the mirror like a sim. And when you record yourself talking, you want to play it back, watch it, and after that, you want to drop your voice slightly and relax into it. What I mean by this is, if you were talking like this or everything was a question, you want to relax into your natural voice, the voice you kind of wake up with in the morning. You don't want everything to be so anxious and rushed. Slow yourself down this time, because you've watched the video and you see how you naturally talk. Don't change anything about yourself for that first video. Now the second video, relax into your natural voice. feel a little bit angered, and try again. That second video is your baseline. That is essentially your true voice and your true personality. You don't want to drop and you feel uncomfortable or it sounds manufactured. You want to just relax, pause, and fill filler words with silence. It's okay to not know what you're talking about sometimes. It's okay to have to think after a question is asked to you. So take your time and really pause to understand what is going on, so you're not just constantly saying or feeling like you're not confident enough to speak to people in social situations. You're going to be in a lot of them. Even depending on your career, you're gonna have to speak to people, and you're gonna have to be able to maneuver your speech and refine it throughout the rest of your life. So you might as well start now. Relaxing, slowing your speech, filling the times when you're confused or thinking with just silence and no filler words. Try it for just a week and just see how your energy shifts and how everybody else around you shifts, because you're going to start feeling more in control of your thoughts. You're going to start feeling more in control of your speech. Women are going to start looking at you differently. People are going to start looking at you differently. Self-control is the ultimate control. If you truly are a control freak and you want control over anything in this life, you have to master self-control. Understanding that speech is just one small thing that you can start with to master this. Power isn't necessarily about saying more, it's about making them hang on to every word you say, because sometimes you yourself don't even know what you're gonna say, but you're ready for it to come out because you're controlled and you understand that there's no need to rush. It's gonna come out. Master this and you'll never have to chase attention again. But speech is honestly just one small piece of the puzzle. There's so many things that are so much deeper, and we're going to be covering them throughout this entire series. So I'll see you there.